live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
2 students are gunned down outside their Minnesota school. Federal investigators are called in to help track down multiple suspects on the run.
A vaccine maker asks for authorization to give the COVID shot to babies as young as 6 months old. Some lawmakers say this could help bring the country back to a baseline level of normalcy.
And a Rockford frontline worker celebrates the win of a lifetime. She says watching her team move on to the big game has become a core life memory. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson.
A student is dead and another is fighting for their life after a shooting at a Minnesota high school. It
happened this afternoon in Richfield. That's about 15 minutes south of Minneapolis. Investigators say the kids were shot on a sidewalk outside the school. A boy died. The other student is in critical condition. Police are now searching for several suspects who investigators believe fled the scene. The FBI and ATF are investigating. School administrators evacuated students to a separate location for parent pickups.
A third suspect in the 2020 murder of a Rockford woman is arrested. Police say that October, 3 people shot Tammy Gonzalez during an armed robbery attempt on 15th Avenue. She died at the hospital. Investigators linked this group to the murder. Nikithion Johnson and Dory Love were already in custody on unrelated charges, but Brandon Taylor was on the loose. He was booked into the Winnebago County Jail yesterday. All 3 are charged with first-degree murder. Police respond when shots ring out in Rockford this afternoon. Officers were called to North Independence Avenue just before 12:30. Multiple people reported hearing shots fired in the area. A brief investigation found no one was hurt. Investigators did not say if any property was damaged. Nearby Lewis Lemon Elementary School was placed on lockdown as a precaution while police cleared the scene.
A Freeport Middle School employee faces federal charges. She's accused of both selling firearms and lying to a licensed dealer.
Rachel Perry's been looking into the allegations. Rachel, what do we know so far?
Mimi and Eric, federal court documents claim Felicia Knox knowingly sold 2 guns to someone convicted of a crime. Knox is listed as a secretary at Freeport Middle School on the district's website, and according to her email, she's the administrative assistant to the assistant principal. Federal court documents show between May of 2020 and February of 2021, the Department of Justice accused Felicia Knox of disposing of a Glock 22 .40 caliber firearm, along with a Masterpiece Arms 9mm pistol, to an individual knowing that person had committed a crime. Knox is also accused of lying to the licensed dealer who she bought the gun from about who she was buying it for. She was in the U.S. District Court January 19th for her initial appearance, where she pled not guilty. She agreed to bond conditions and is not currently in custody. In a statement, the Freeport School District tells me, "We have been made aware of Miss Felicia Knox's arrest and have placed her on administrative leave. Miss Knox has been employed by the district since August of 2021. We will process the facts of her arrest as it relates to her employment in the district as soon as we are able to." Knox and her lawyer did not respond to a request for comment. The Freeport Police Department tells me they assisted in the arrest of Knox but would not go into any more detail. She's set to appear in court again on March 4th. We will continue following this case and update you when we know more. Eric?
Thanks, Rachel. The NAACP wants Jason Van Dyke to face federal civil rights charges for killing Laquan McDonald. The group's president made that request in a letter to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland. Van Dyke, a former Chicago police officer, is scheduled to be released from prison this Thursday. He's served less than half of his nearly 7-year sentence. McDonald's great uncle, the Reverend Marvin Hunter, believes Van Dyke should have spent much more time in prison, but Hunter says he and the family are against federal charges.
Babies and toddlers could soon be eligible for Pfizer's COVID vaccine. The company asked for emergency authorization for a shot regimen for kids 6 months to 5 years old. This is currently the only age group still ineligible for a vaccine. Early data shows the vaccine, which is given to younger children at 1/10 the strength of the adult shot, has been shown to be safe and produce an immune response. At the White House Monday, some governors told President Biden the country needs a framework to live with the virus. Health officials say vaccinating more kids could be part of that approach.
People are striving for more normal life, and I think we've moved to that very quickly. But we need to have the guidelines very clear as to how you actually structurally move from the pandemic state of things to an endemic, where you're managing this virus like you would other illnesses in our country.
Shots could go in young children's arms as soon as late February.
Another COVID-19 vaccine goes before the FDA for approval. This time it's from Novavax. Its shot contains small particles with viral proteins and a substance that boosts an immune system. Patients get 2 doses 3 weeks apart. Novavax has said the vaccine can build an immune reaction to the Omicron variant. The U.S. ordered 110 million doses back in 2020. The company says it's working with the federal government to create a plan for production, timing, and research for booster shots and pediatrics. You could be missing out on money you're owed. Today is National Unclaimed Property Day, a time to check the state treasurer's database to see if you're entitled to things like unpaid life insurance benefits, forgotten bank accounts, or unused rebates. States are required to return this property no matter how long it's gone unclaimed. To see if your name is on the list, follow the link in this story on mystateline.com.
As we flip the calendar page to February, the Stateline prepares for Valentine's Day. Between getting gifts for that special someone, consider showing a veteran that you care. Angela's Attic in South Beloit sells antiques, and over the next few weeks, they'll also be selling paper hearts for just $1. Customers can write a message on the heart, thanking service members for their sacrifices. One of the organizers for the project is a veteran herself and says little things like this can mean a lot to a vet who's down on their luck.
Honestly, I'm very excited. I know when I was away from home, this would have been a very nice thing to have, is just to be able to reach into a box and know somebody somewhere around the planet said, hey, I thought about you today, and that would have been important.
All of the hearts and proceeds will be donated to Rockford's Veteran Drop-In Center.
We have a follow-up from a story we brought you Friday. Remember OSF employee and LA Rams superfan Alex Ham? She won 2 tickets to Sunday's NFC Championship game in California and watched her team secure their spot in the Super Bowl. Alex is an educator at OSF in Rockford, and her husband is a veteran. That caught the eye of the wife of Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Kelly Stafford sent them the tickets and thanked the couple for their service. Alex says the game was almost as great as the day her daughter was born.
It was so much fun. We looked at each other and I just started crying. I was like, we're going to the Super Bowl! And everyone around us, even the 49ers fans that were next to us, gave us a hug, and because we ended up making friends with everyone that we were near.
Well, the Hams won't be personally attending the Super Bowl. Tickets are priced at thousands of dollars. Instead, they'll throw a small party in their Rams-themed man cave. The White House moves forward with plans to select a new Supreme Court nominee by the end of the month.
Today, President Joe Biden worked with senators from both sides of the aisle to devise a path forward. The meeting comes as some members of the GOP are raising concerns over the president's campaign pledge to name a black woman to the court. Raquel Martin explains as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
We're different parties, but 2 good friends down here.
Tuesday, President Joe Biden met with his former colleagues, Democratic Senator Dick Durbin and Republican Senator Chuck Grassley, to discuss his plans to appoint a new Supreme Court justice.
I'm serious when I say it, that I want the advice of the Senate.
Senator Durbin and Senator Grassley are the 2 highest-ranking members on the powerful Senate Judiciary Committee and are key to pushing the president's Supreme Court nominee forward. Before their meeting, Senator Durbin said he's eager to move quickly despite concerns over COVID.
We have become so accustomed to Zoom meetings and virtual contacts. I don't see how it would slow down the process at all. In fact, practically speaking, it may speed it up.
Durbin says in the end, he expects some Republican support, but Senator Grassley says he's undecided.
I won't have any comment until I see who we nominate.
We'll see who it is.
Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley says he too is keeping an open mind, but criticized the president for limiting his pool of options to just black women.
I think it's the wrong approach to exclude people on the basis of race.
Tuesday, the White House pushed back against criticism the president is discriminating.
His focus is on picking the person who is eminently qualified, who is ready to serve.
The president hopes to announce his selection before the end of the month. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
We got a lot to talk about over the next couple of days, so let's get right into it. Winter weather advisory was issued for Lee and DeKalb counties. Now, if you remember yesterday, we were kind of highlighting areas to the south and southeast of Rockford that have the potential to see a little bit more snowfall, a little more of an impact, not only through the night tonight, but also into the morning tomorrow, specifically for that morning commute. Cold front has passed through. We've got rain showers that are beginning to blossom a little more to the southeast. On the backside of that, you're starting to see that precipitation transition over to some snow. But because we still have some dry air that's undercutting that moisture with that high pressure system moving in, not a lot of that just yet is actually reaching the ground. Now, we did have a couple of sprinkles out there earlier today, but that was pretty much it. Where we're really going to see the impacts from this major winter storm down to the south. Look at just how expansive every area that is in the pink winter storm warning, as locations just to the south of us could end up with 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches of snow just from what comes in here tonight and through the morning hours tomorrow. So let's plan this out with Futurecast. While we've got the dry air in place, we will eventually start to see things begin to saturate a little more. This looks to take place as we get towards about 8, 9 o'clock this evening. Areas that have the best chance through tonight to actually see some of that lighter snow will be for the locations here in DeKalb County, Southern Ogle County, Lee County. You've got a higher chance of some lighter snow coming down. Now, once we get into tomorrow morning, we're actually going to see some of that snow begin to spread northward. So some light snow running right up near the state line, little more steady snow down to the south. Again, once you get closer to that I-88 corridor, this is going to continue into tomorrow morning, but eventually we'll see that begin to move out. Areas to the northwest, so I'm talking about you in Freeport, Monroe, up towards Orangeville, Cedarville, you might not see any snow at all, while places like DeKalb and Sycamore, Sandwich, down to Paw Paw, you could end up with a few inches of snow when this is all said and done. Now, that second system comes in Wednesday night into Thursday, but that does not look to have an impact on us. Actually looks to stay a little bit further to the south. We get the colder air wrapping in behind that. Temperatures when you wake up Thursday morning down in the single digits, and then we'll stay in the teens for Thursday afternoon, but we should be able to see a little bit more sunshine. Now, I do want to mention the winds will be picking up later tonight into tomorrow, so it won't feel the greatest. Temperatures tomorrow are going to stay in the 20s after we get those numbers to drop back here this evening. So let's kind of look at some of the snowfall totals. We were looking at and talking about a very sharp gradient as far as snow accumulations are concerned. That still looks to be the case. Where you get near the state line, closer to the Illinois-Wisconsin border, you might not see anything, maybe a dusting, maybe up to an inch here in Rockford. That right now looks to be about it. You get a little bit further south, so you travel down Interstate 39, you get closer towards Lindenwood, Hill Center, Hillcrest, I should say, Flag Center. You might be more along that 1 to 2 inch range, where you could see those totals up to 2 to 3. You're talking areas that are south of Rochelle, and maybe about 3 to 4 inches now. We're from DeKalb on south in southern DeKalb County, and then once, as I mentioned, you get south of Rochelle down to Paw Paw, you might see a little bit of that down towards Amboy, and then lining up once you get there south of the Dixon region. A live look with the Mercial Skytrack camera now out in Rochelle. What's really cool to look at this, we've got the cloud cover. You can actually see a little bit of virga, which is that precipitation evaporating before it reaches the ground, because we have that dry air in place. But as I mentioned, we'll start to see that saturate a little more and get some of that light snow to begin to move in. Areas where we do have a little bit more snow coming down tomorrow morning, that is going to have an impact on the commute, so be prepared for that. It'll cause some slick conditions. Temperatures tomorrow only up near 20. We're down to 10 Wednesday night, up to 18 on Thursday, back up near 20 for Friday, and then guys, we stay in the 20s, close to 30 here as we head into the weekend.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
Tom Brady won't be collecting any more Super Bowl rings. He'll settle for 7. He announced to the world today on social media he is retiring after 22 NFL seasons. Now, first, I'm not 100% convinced he's done. It is early February. He's only a little over a week removed from a heartbreaking loss. His body is sore. He's tired. He could feel completely differently when June and July roll around and it's getting closer to football season. But let's say that he is finished. If so, I'm glad he's going out before his skills began to erode. I never enjoyed watching Michael Jordan in those final years with the Wizards. He was okay, but Michael Jordan's supposed to be great, not just okay. Brady this season led all NFL quarterbacks in passing yards and touchdown passes. He is still great. Is he the greatest of all time? Based on 7 Super Bowl championships, I'd have to say so, especially since most of those Patriots teams he was on didn't have Hall of Fame weapons or even Pro Bowl weapons around him on offense. Brady is extremely talented, but it also seems like fate smiled on him his entire career. If I had one game to win, would I want TB12 to be my quarterback? I can't really say that, but I'm not sure who I'd take ahead of him. Maybe Joe Montana or John Elway in his prime, or possibly Dan Marino. If you're a Packers fan, this is going to put a smile on your face. Matt LaFleur has fired special teams coach Maurice Drayton. Packer fan over here loving it already. The Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel first reported this news. Drayton was the Packers special teams coach for only 1 season. The Packers special teams units ranked 31st out of 32 NFL teams. The writing was on the wall for Drayton when the Packers had a field goal attempt blocked and then a punt blocked in return for a touchdown by the 49ers in the divisional round of the playoffs. The Packers have done a lot of things right over the past several years. The biggest thing they've gotten wrong has been special teams. Matt LaFleur will now be hiring his 3rd special teams coach in his brief time he's been in Green Bay. Firing Drayton is addition by subtraction for the Packers. Their special teams can only get better.
Candace will have an update on that major winter storm hitting Illinois in just a minute.
But first, here's a look at what's to come on News Nation tonight.
Nearly 4,000 New York police officers are at risk of being fired. How it could impact the current crime wave if they're all canned. Plus, holding celebrities accountable. Should Whoopi Goldberg get the boot for her anti-Semitic comments? That's On Balance. Here's Dan.
Thanks, Leland. Tonight on Dan Abrams Live on News Nation. Today is the Lunar New Year. Some now pushing it for it to become a national holiday. Do we really need another national holiday? That's tonight on Dan Abrams Live.
That's coming up on the fastest growing cable news network in America, News Nation. It's available on the cable and satellite stations you see here. You can also head to newsnation.com.
The first WARN interactive radar shows the rain moving off to the southeast, snow mixing in behind. Not a lot of that reaching the ground just yet because we do have that dry air. Expect as we get later into this evening, some of those light snow showers to continue. Some minor accumulations of snow south of Rockford into tomorrow morning.
Thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending time with us. Stay safe.